Hello, I'm and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about one of the big issues we have coming up on Minecraft console in the very near future as far as updates for that game go, because it is to do with 1.11 from the PC. Minecraft 1.11 was a fairly small update on the PC, but it did include a lot of really big features. But the problem is these features are so big that there's actually going to be an issue of how they come to console. So today I wanted to discuss what I'm calling the Woodland Mansion problem, because it mostly does come down to this one giant structure. So yeah, hopefully you do enjoy this video, like if you do, because it helps out the channel, and let us know you do like this sort of video. Just to clarify, by the way, I've been building all of this by myself. It's been a fun project I've been working on. It's a pretty cool one, but just in case you're curious, this is that. So yeah, let's get straight into talking about what the Woodland Mansion problem is. So yeah, like I said, 1.11 was a fairly small update. However, it did include one of the biggest features, in terms of just pure size, in the game ever, and that is the Woodland Mansion. Not only is the Woodland Mansion one of the coolest naturally generated structures ever, you find these in dark, oak forests, and, once you go inside them, they're massive. They include something like 53 different types of rooms. The pure dimensions of it are massive too, but also, the number of features that are only found inside this place are pretty large. So if you think about it, there are 3 mobs, 2 illagers, and 1 mob spawned by one of the illagers. So there's 3 brand new mobs in this place, a brand new item, the Totem of Undying, and just a bunch of other stuff that is only found inside this place. So you might be wondering, okay, so what's the big problem? Well, the big problem comes of how you take this onto consoles. So if you put this onto Xbox One and PS4, I don't think there's too much of an issue, because again, those worlds can be large enough that that's kind of a thing. There's an issue that comes in later, but the big issue comes when you try to put the Woodland Mansion on every other console that currently exists out there, so the 360, the PS3, the Wii U, and the PS Vita, because the big thing about the Woodland Mansion that causes problems is its pure physical size. So if you don't know, this is just one I measured. I think it can vary a little bit, but the dimensions of this one right here are 75 by 80 blocks. That is, such an enormous amount of area in your world, and if you look at a map, it takes up an enormous, look how big this thing is into comparison to your world. You might think, so what's the big deal? Why is that a big issue? Well, these things are meant to be incredibly rare, found once, I think every 100,000 blocks or something like that on average, based on my little testing, but they're meant to be found very rarely. So if you have a Minecraft console world, which is roughly 800 something by 164 by 864, then that means that your odds of finding one of these are going to be very low, and usually that's easy to adjust. With the ocean monument, they up the frequency. With the desert temples, the villages, they've upped the frequency on all of those things, so you're more likely to find them on the console. However, the amount of upping of the frequency you have to do of this would be ridiculous, and then think, okay, so even if you up the frequency all the way, you need a dark oak forest for you to find one of these things. And if you do have a dark oak forest, and let's say you make it so every world can have at least one dark oak forest and one of these, this means the dark oak forest would have to be an absolutely ridiculous size, because bear in mind, you don't usually find biomes this big in Minecraft console. This is 10% of the width of a Minecraft 360 world or a Minecraft PS3 world, and 10% the height too. It has all of that, and you're expected to have that all inside one biome. We just don't get biomes that big in Minecraft console. And again, this is an issue you might be able to bypass by saying, oh, just make it so the starts in the biome, which, could be a thing, but then you'd have weird, results like, oh yeah, this is floating over a, like an ocean or a desert, or, maybe this is going into a mountain. So if we exclude all of those things though and say, yo, whatever, we'll work around it, then the big issue comes from just how, much physical space these take up, and the fact that every seed you have that doesn't have one of these is kind of pointless in a way, because, yeah, let's say that, these spawn as about frequently as the ocean monument, the last big structure, then that's kind of a problem, because every world that doesn't have one, including all the existing worlds, miss out on the vast majority of this next update. Again, bear in mind, 1.11 from the PC was a fairly small update by total number of features, and most of them are concentrated inside the Woodland Mansion. So, yeah, that means that if you are like myself, or you have an existing world, or you just get unlucky after the update, you start a brand new world, but you don't find a Woodland Mansion, then that means that you don't have access to 3 brand new mobs, the Totem of Undying, and all that sort of stuff. And even if you do have access to them, finding more than one of these is going to be insanely rare, and it might even have to be limited, because, again, look at the size of this on my map. This is a small map, by the way, not even a classic one, so this is about double the surface area, and it's still that much of my world. It's this giant figure from everywhere in the world. But yeah, even if you say that, okay, let's guarantee everyone has one, or let's have one in my world, and whatever it is, then the big issue comes from oh yeah, you only have access to that stuff once. On the PC, technically, once you find one of these things, you probably won't find another one, but you always can go out and find another version, find, more illagers, find more Totem of Undyings. But in this particular version, once the illagers are gone, they're gone forever, which means that they're going to put all this effort into something that most players won't be able to experience. The few players that do, manage to find one will probably find just the one of them, and then you get to experience it once, and then it's gone forever. It's kind of like the shulkers on, the end dimension, but at least the end can be reset, but you cannot reset your Woodland Mansions, which means that it's going to be a giant feature inside certain Minecraft worlds that takes up all this space and, makes all these questions come up, and then as a result of all of that, all you get to do is fight one Woodland Mansion once, and that That's where I think the big issue is going to come in. I have no idea how they're going to resolve this, but if I had to guess, I think the next update is going to, have to be combined with 1.12, because imagine how excited you'll be for an update to come out, and then it turns out it's the Woodland Mansion update. You don't have Woodland Mansion, so all you get is essentially shulker boxes and llamas, which are pretty cool features. The llamas are one of my favorite features that I've seen for quite some time, but it would be a shame if they put all this work developing an update that most people don't get to experience, that is the Woodland Mansion problem, in short. I'd love to hear, some form of response from 4J, but I imagine the way we'll find out is, as soon as they start teasing the next update, they'll have something in there about Woodland Mansions, or, maybe they'll just, skip the PC update. Again, this is the sort of thing where it's like, is this a appropriate console feature? I don't know for certain, but it might be the sort of thing, that gives them the opportunity to work on more mini games, realms, add-ons, all that sort of stuff at the same time. But I'd love to hear what all of you think about this problem. Maybe someone in the comments has got like a way smarter solution, because to me, it seems like you're going to have some big problems no matter how you integrate this thing, and it might just be a waste of development time. But again, who can say for certain? Maybe they've got an easier way to do it. Maybe it's the sort of thing where they can just, add it to the game with a flip of a switch and they don't have to worry about the other stuff. I don't know for certain, because again, 1.11 was a very different update on Minecraft for the PC. But either way, I hope you did all enjoy this video. Hopefully, the Woodland Mansion inspires you to go out and build your own one, because like I said, if you have an existing world, you won't be able to spawn one of these. So why not just build your own one? Why not have fun making your own Woodland Mansion rooms with your own giant cat stuff? That's something that I figured is a fun challenge that you might want to embark upon, and that's why I've been doing it right here, and at some point this will be finished. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like it if you liked it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like the update videos, and even though this one was more discussion than anything else. Share the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them and this llama daily on your homepage. I can't promise about the llama actually, but I can promise you'll see more videos, because that's how subscribing works, especially when you press the bell, which will give you a notification every single time I upload, especially when there's updates out. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.